You saw the thumbnail, you read the title. I bought a MacBook. First of all, I'm cheap. And mostly I like value, which is why I've never owned an Apple product before, except for this. My iPod Nano. But that was a long time ago. I'm also very strongly and very openly not happy with Apple's business practices. Let me put this away. I don't like the way they've designed their products to keep you in their ecosystem on purpose, and they deliberately lock other people out, basically holding their customers, now me including, hostage whenever they can. I don't like Apple. So why did I buy a MacBook? Well, I needed a new editing machine. I needed a new laptop to edit my videos on. The one I've been using was too old and was not keeping up anymore. So I needed a machine that could edit 4K videos. And like I said, I'm cheap. So I wanted the best value machine I could find. And my research very quickly showed that a MacBook is best value. I can't believe this is a sentence I was ever gonna say. But it is true. A MacBook is the best value you can get for this use case at the moment. When I was a teenager, the only people that had Macs were people with too much money and the character to go along with it.
Oh no, he didn't.
So once I realized a MacBook is what I need to get, the bigger question was, which MacBook do I need to go for? There are already hundreds of videos out there telling you how to choose the right MacBook for you. Which MacBook is the best MacBook in 2025, in 2026? And some of them have some weird advice.
Until I made a video where I sniffed a MacBook.
This video is not one of those videos. This video is not going to show you what the best MacBook is for you. This video is what the best MacBook is for me, how I came to that decision, and hopefully it can help you. But I want to be clear, if you want to find out what the best value is, look at all those videos, learn what the different options offer so that you can make the right decision for you. But I do want to make clear that scene of hundreds of videos is confusing. One video tells you the MacBook Pro is essential for any type of video editing you may do. The next video says the MacBook Pro screen is completely overrated and not necessary unless you're doing very, very high-end professional work. One video tells you that the 13-inch MacBook is the perfect size in portability and usability. The next video tells you that 15-inch is minimum to be able to do any useful work. The problem is that all of those videos are correct. You have to find out what is right for you. After several weeks of watching all these videos, I was pretty sure the MacBook Air was going to be the right choice for me. The Pro would have been definitely a waste of money in my case. This Air does everything I needed to do and more. Once I knew the MacBook Pro is out of my price range and adds no value for me, I knew the MacBook Air was going to be it. But what size screen? 13-inch or 15-inch? Since I don't have an external monitor to connect to my laptop and do all my editing on the built-in screen, the 15-inch was the right choice for me. And again, I'm glad I made that decision. I can now confirm 13-inch would have been too small because the 15-inch is just about right. I use it for programming in several different IDEs and for video editing. Both use cases, I very much appreciate the extra real estate of the 15-inch. Next big question, RAM. In this day and age, RAM's a huge question. Luckily, Apple's prices didn't go up at all, or at least at the time that I checked. Since then, the prices have risen, and I think I may have accidentally bought a MacBook at literally the best time in history.
Damn!
But how much RAM do I need? How much RAM is enough? I've never used a MacBook. They have this unified memories model that is very different from anything I've ever used before on any Linux machine or Windows machine I've ever owned. How do I even know? I studied YouTube, I watched lots of videos, and it became pretty clear that the consensus across most people was that 16 gigabytes was going to be enough for the 4K video editing I was going to do without any problems and the headroom necessary. So now it was decided MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes RAM. Next question, storage. I have had 1 terabyte drives in the past, usually for everything, but I don't use my laptop the same way I used to anymore. I only use it for video editing, and my projects are about 30 to 50 or 60 gigabytes large per project. So I thought 512 gigabytes is probably enough. I edit one video, maybe keep 2 or 3 on my drive at a time as I edit them along, and then offload them to an external drive once they're finished. This machine has 512 gigabytes of memory, and it looks like this model is working very well for me so far. Updates coming in the future. So now I felt great. I went through this price laddering up and down. I went through the difficulty of trying to understand what is right for me. I had decided MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. And right when I had decided this, Apple dropped the MacBook Neo. The MacBook Neo threw me for another ride. I spent weeks watching all the new reviews, and it looked like the MacBook Neo was going to be able to do anything I wanted to do. It was going to be able to do 4K video editing like I wanted. It was going to be able to do everything super cheap. But 2-3 weeks into the reviews, it became clear the MacBook Neo cannot do all these things. It can do these things like 4K video editing, but it is struggling at times. And if it struggles at day one, I'm not going to be able to support it for the 5 years minimum that I want to be able to use this machine. So the MacBook Neo was also out for my use case. So now I was back. MacBook Air, 16 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes of storage. Happy days. Next question, where do I buy it? The one thing that was clear to me is I was not going to buy it from Apple directly. They don't ever have deals, and it's way too expensive. So I looked at secondhand stores in Ireland like CEX. CEX has a great warranty policy. I'm not sponsored, but I have used their warranty policy several times, and I think that was going to be a great option. The problem was stock. Since it's a secondhand store, they can only sell me what somebody else has given them. And they don't have a lot of MacBooks, which I think is a good sign because not a lot of people get rid of their MacBooks this way, but it was a bummer for me. I couldn't find the spec I was looking for at CEX. And if they don't have the spec I need, then I can't buy the product from them. I kept looking around and I realized that Apple sells the products through Amazon. There's actually almost always deals on Apple laptops. So I started watching the deals and paying attention. And then one day, the deal of a lifetime. I saw the MacBook Air M4, which is last year's model, 24 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. 8 gigabytes more than I looked for as a minimum.
Quick maths!
But at the same price that I was willing to pay for the 16 gigabytes. And since I'm potentially looking at running LLMs locally in the future, and the bit of headroom was going to be great for video editing, I decided I'm going for this model. With that there, I saw the deal, I had done my research, I knew that's what I needed, I knew it was an incredible price, with I think 23% off. I selected the sky blue version, and at checkout, I became officially the owner of a brand new M4 MacBook Air. Obviously, as you can see, it has arrived already. I have edited my last video and this video also on the MacBook, and I'm very happy with it. I'm putting together a video about what it's like and the things that I find great, the things that I find horrible with macOS, and the things that I think could be improved. One thing I was worried about, because I saw people talking about it online, is that the color of the MacBook, sky blue, is not very blue. But now that I'm here outside, actually, it looks just about as blue as the sky in Ireland. Thanks for watching. I don't have enough subscribers to monetize my videos, but I'm hoping to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year, so please do press the button. It's free and it does help me out a lot. Thanks for watching. Stay silly and follow me.